What's up, you guys? In today's episode, I'm going to go over the Klirrton Oh My Goat again because this pedal is absolutely incredible. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy Louie Torres, and yes, the Oh My Goat is still one of my all-time favorite preamp pedals, distortion pedals. You can use it as an overdrive pedal. This thing is legit, just ridiculously amazing pedal. So here's the one thing. All right, so when you get a good pedal, you're just like, let me try to see what other amps this thing could potentially run into a brick wall with, right? So there are the great amps like my rectifier, which are voiced great to be, especially when you're using an overdrive or any kind of distortion pedal. I feel like amps like that, the Mesa, work perfectly with pedals, with preamp rack systems also. Just because you can attach it to the rectifier, and the rectifier, which naturally sounds great because of the rectifier tubes, because of the power amp tubes also. It's almost like the perfect environment, right? But then, then you have the terrible Marshall JCM 800. And I'm sorry, I don't know. Listen, the JCM 800 had to be the best amp for metal back in the 80s when you didn't have guys like Kyle or, from KSR, or Mike Fortin from Fortin Amplification. And then a ton of guys, that just build all of these modern amps. So when someone says the JCM 800 is absolutely brutal, it's not. They're lying to you. They're just, they are literally drinking the Kool-Aid along with everyone else that's been around since the 80s, because I remember the 80s and the JCM 800 was literally the amp that everyone needed to have. My guitar teacher was Saab, who is the guitarist of Merauder in Brooklyn. He lived for the JCM 800. If it wasn't him, it was Joe Affey, the guitarist from Maximum Penalty. Same. JCM 800 guys in Brooklyn and New York City had to have a Marshall JCM 100. And for the most part, they would just use some kind of a major boost pedal. Back then, it was the TC Electronics BLD, which is the booster line driver distortion. So I've had a few of those. They're okay, but they're dated too. They're 30 years old. So it's something you necessarily don't want. So here's the little caveat with with my JCM 800 is it has the HM V2 mod. So what it does is it takes the preamp gain section with the 12AX7 and it doubles. So this way, instead of having just one 12AX7, you have two 12AX7s, and it does great. Like, by itself, it's just not modern metal craziness, right? So in comes the Oh My Goat, and keep in mind that for the most part, even with that HM V2, there's some pedals that just don't really do well with it, just because you're now boosting it with boosting a boost that needed a boost, and it's just too much. It's just too much, and it almost sounds like a fizz fest, right? So this time around, especially with the Oh My Goat using this Marshall JCM 800, it's absolutely incredible, and I feel like I need to go through a few rounds with different pedals just to see how it does with the JCM 800. But again, don't drink the Kool-Aid. The JCM 800, there are definitely better amps that you can get yourself for modern metal. If you want the JCM 100 just because it's a JCM 800, then that's something else. It's like having a Fort in Cali or a Fort in Meshuggah. You don't need it, but it's nice to have, and it's cool to just be like, oh yeah, you guys have the the Meshuggah, what is it? The program based version, which they also have the neural Fort in Cali. You know, like that's cool to have and everyone loves it, but I have the actual real amp, which I think kind of gives it that little added level of coolness, right? You know, that's it's just what it's just in my crazy cuckoo mind. So I'm going to be running my 1996 ESP Horizon Custom, and this one has Seymour Duncan JBs, and for some reason, guys are just like, don't ever use JBs. They're terrible. They're not meant for metal. I don't know what those guys are talking about, because that guitar right there is an absolute monster, regardless of what I run it through. So let me go ahead and plug this guy in for you guys. Damn, I've been talking for 5 minutes. Sorry. I'm a talker. Talker. Yo, huge shout out to my boy AK Ray, the guitarist of Scarhead and Vietnam. And yo, huge shout out to his wife Roxanne. Today's her birthday, so happy birthday. Hope you guys are having fun. So I'm going to be running, again, this is my ESP Horizon Custom, and JB's on the bridge and the neck. So I'm going to start off with the Marshall just by itself. And listen, for the most part, I feel like most guys are going to hear what this amp sounds like by itself and be like, that sounds really good. You know, for an amp that's 30 years old, it's fine. Until you hear what it sounds like with the Oh My Goat on, and you will retract that initial statement and go ahead and mention how much greater it sounds with the Oh My Goat by Klirrton. So one thing that you're going to notice with the pedal off, it's the Marshall JCM 800 just sounds drier. In fact, my Laboga Mr. Hector just naturally sounds like that too. But there's enough in there that you just get that modern metal tone. With the JCM 800, you know, this guy was built in 1987. So it's a bit over most of you guys. It's older than most of you. So let's try and hear what this sounds like. All right, guys, so if you haven't picked up the Oh My Goat by Klirrton, then you're completely missing out. I don't even know if these are even in stock right now. But Karsten, the owner, is just the, seriously, just the nicest guy, super down to earth, he's just a genius of an engineer. He's been doing it for years. He's worked in the music industry for, nearly 20 years, if not longer. So the guy genuinely loves what he does, but really knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between someone that builds pedals because they're good at it and it's a passion that they have. And then there's literally the same thing, but someone that actually is an engineer for a huge, Fortune 500 company, and they are a full-time engineer at a major firm. So guys, again, if you have not picked up the Oh My Goat, you have to, especially if you're looking for a different flavor. If you want something that's just going to, if you look in the mirror and you want someone to punch you in the throat, it's going to be this pedal right here that's going to do it by way of its horns on that ram head, or the goat's head, right? And so guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. Hit the subscribe button if you have not. To all my awesome haters, it is what it is, my man. So guys, thank you so much for watching. And as usual, this guy will talk to you soon. I don't know, dude. I've just been getting more haters, and what's up? That's all right. It's all good.